Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to class. I'm glad you guys are here. You guys should have been given some notes from the substitute today. At the top, it says 3.2. You need to write 3.3 midpoint. This is our midpoint section or our midpoint notes, okay? At the top, 3.3 midpoint. You should have the same vocabulary, and we'll do some of these practice problems that are here. I am going to move pretty quickly today, so if you need to pause the video at any time, feel free. Otherwise, you can go back and watch it or pause it, try and work ahead, try and guess the answer before I go over it. All right, today we are going to be able to calculate the midpoint and /or find the endpoints from a given midpoint. So first off, midpoint, just think middle. Midpoint is the halfway spot or the middle of a section, the middle distance from 2 points. It's the equal distance apart. We are given a lovely little formula to find the midpoint. Now, when you hear midpoint, it's a point. So it's written as a point, x, y. Okay? Distance formula is different. Okay? Midpoint is a point. Distance formula is a length. Okay, we got to keep that in our minds because while we're practicing these, they do look a little similar, but make sure you're keeping midpoint, it's a point. So let's go ahead and look at our first examples. We're going to find the midpoint. So first off, we've been given 2 points and we're going to find that middle spot between them. So let's remember our midpoint is x1 plus x2. Divide by 2, and our y value is our y1 plus y2, divide by 2. And it's a point. We add our x values, divide by 2, add your y values, divide by 2. So here in this first example, I've got 2, 4, and -1, 7. I'm going to add my x values, 2 plus -1, and divide by 2, and add my y values, 4 plus 7, and divide by 2. If you need to get out Desmos, do it. But 2 plus -1 is just 1 over 2. So my new x value is 1/2. And my new y value, 4 plus 7, is 11 over 2, or 11/2. This also reduces to 5.5 if you did it that way, and this is 0.5. But my new point, the x value is 1/2, the y value 11/2 or 5.5. So let's see, if we're given something like this though, that's a graph, and they ask us, what is the halfway point between A and B? We're going to first find these x and y values, these coordinates. This is a -3, -5, and this guy is 4, -6. Again, we follow the same kind of formula here. We do our x values, add your x values. So -3 plus 4, divide by 2. And then we add our y values, -5 plus -6, divide by 2. So this is going to be our new x and our new y. -3 plus 4 is 1 over 2, so 1/2. And our new y value, -5 plus -6, -11 over 2. My new point, my midpoint. Again, we're going to jump on down to the next couple of examples. Go ahead, try this. Pause the video, try it. See if you can find this one on your own next. Remember our midpoint. Add your x values, divide by 2. Add your y values, divide by 2. We're looking for a new point. So here, I'm going to add my x values, 0 plus -8, divide by 2. And then my y value, 0 plus 6, divide by 2. So my new x value is going to be -8 over 2. My new y value is 6 over 2. -8 divided by 2 is -4. 6 divided by 2 is 3. This is my midpoint. All right, now let's go ahead and look at this problem. Mariah's house is at point M. Hannah's house is at point H. If they want to get together and meet in the middle, what is the location of the point exactly halfway between them? So we've been given 2 points, so we're just going to use our midpoint formula. Add your x values, divide by 2. Add your y values, divide by 2. 4 plus 8 is 12, divide by 2 is 6. So my x value is 6. 3 plus 5 is 8, divide by 2. My new y value is 4. The midpoint is 6, 4. All right, we're going to flip it over onto the back, and we're going to change some of these instructions here a little bit. They're asking us to find the coordinate of the other endpoint of the segment given the endpoint and the midpoint. I know you can't quite see that, but it is there given the other midpoint. Let me see if I can move myself up a little bit. There we go. All right, so we're going to just scratch off this part right here. We're going to follow the instructions that it says in the top. So you can scratch off this part right here too. Again, we're going to follow the instructions on the top. Find the coordinate of the other endpoint of the segment with the given endpoint and midpoint M. So M is our midpoint. So this is where it gets to be a little tricky, right? My midpoint is where I end, right? It's my middle. It's how I get the end of the formula. Because remember, our formula is our x values added together, divide by 2, and our y values added together, divide by 2. So this time, we need to figure out what is one of those values. So we're first just going to focus on x. We're going to find our x and find our y. So we're first going to focus on x. So we know that our first point here, 2 points on the line are given by the ordered pairs, -10, -8, and -2, 4. My first x value is -10 plus another x value. We don't know what that x value is. Divide by 2, and then our midpoint number for x is -2. So we're going to have to solve this to figure out what is the x value. So we multiply both sides by 2. We get -10 plus x equals -4. Add 10 to both sides. X equals 6. Ta-da! So I found my first x value, or my first part of the point. It's 6. So the other endpoint is at 6. Now I've got to find what the y is. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do some erasing. If you need, make sure you write them both side by side. I'm writing too big since I'm writing on my computer this time. All right, let's find our y value now. So I'm going to find y. So I know that it is -8 plus my y value divided by 2, and that'll give me this y value. It equals 4, because the midpoint y value is at 4. So I'm going to do the same thing. Multiply by 2. Multiply by 2. -8 plus y equals 8. Add 8. And I get y equals 16. So my y value is at 16. This is my other endpoint, 6, 16. So I had my midpoint here, my endpoint. This is my other endpoint. So what do you do when you know the midpoint and one of the endpoints? You plug it in and you solve your equation. Plug it in and solve. You find the other point by plugging it in and solving. All right, I'm going to see if I can organize this next side a little better. We're going to find our x over here, find our y over here. We've been given the point 5, 4, and the midpoint 1, -2. So let's find our x value. So this means 5 plus an x value divided by 2 equals 1. Multiply both sides by 2. 5 plus x equals 2. Minus 5, x equals -3. So I've got the x value to my point. It's -3. -3. Now I just got to find my y value. So let's go ahead and solve this. We know that it's 4 plus a y value divided by 2, and it's going to equal -2. Multiply by 2 to both sides. 4 plus y equals -4. Minus 4 to both sides. Y equals -8. This is my other endpoint. -3, -8. All right, we're going to try, actually, we do have 2 more that you can try on your own. This is what we're going to go over when I get back on Wednesday. So go ahead, try these 2. I will be checking these on Wednesday. All right, guys, continue working on your Delta math. Get those late assignments in, get your stuff done, and I'll see you tomorrow.